Well, my beloved family, we've come to the end of the week. Now we have. What a great week it has been. We have been studying this week. God fights for you. God fights for you. Remember that? We've been looking at how God fights, what he does, whether he dispossesses or annihilates. We learned that God annihilates things that are established for false worship, things that are established as other gods, things that human beings use to defile not only themselves, but the land of God. God says, destroy all of that. The people, however, he tries to work with. But if we are recalcitrant, if we will not change, then God bans us, brings us into the realm of his own decision making for our destruction. He sets us aside for destruction. And that's what he did with certain of the groups in Canaan. Our memory text, and Joshua captured all these kings and their land at one time because the Lord of Israel, the God of Israel, fought for them, right? So Israel is successful because God is fighting for them. As we looked at Sunday's lesson, we got a sense of the depth of the iniquity of these nations. We have to travel the Bible a little bit. We have to go back to Genesis and look at Leviticus and look at Deuteronomy and look at Ezra. But these verses tell us that these people were involved in some very dark, debauched behaviors. They were abominable to God. Every firstborn child in some of these nations would be sacrificed to Molech. Molech was a god that would be lit with fire, whose arms was out flaming, burning fire. They would place their children on Molech's arms and destroy them. Some would be killed and their ashes or their little bone structures crushed and jammed into jars, which were kept for worship. God says, enough of your witchcraft and your spiritualism, enough of your recalcitrance and your disobedience, enough. I'm going to judge you. And that's what God does. He judges them and removes them from the land. Some people he drives out. Others he just judges because he is the supreme judge. Remember we learned that? Monday's lesson, that God is the supreme judge and that his holiness and that his righteousness is his complete objective, that he allows certain things to happen, that his holiness and his righteousness may reign. God will not tolerate sin forever. We learned, as I mentioned earlier, that some were slated for annihilation, while others were simply affected by dispossession, that God moved them out of the land, often sending the hornet or sending an angel to drive them out, that the people of God might possess the land as they go through. But what was the big decision? What made the decision between, being simply driven out or destroyed? Your choice. Free choice. God gives us the power of choice that we can decide whether we will love him or not. And if we choose to love him and obey him and welcome him and repent, the promise of God is you will live in peace with me. The Prince of Peace, the one we studied on Thursday, who is coming to bring a new kingdom, a new way of operating, a new gospel of another chance, the good news of salvation. This is God's ultimate objective, to bring back to the planet peace, redemption, which he will do one day. But we can have it now, today. May God bless you.